Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm the gnarly gnome. This is not a show, which is why right now, as I'm trying to figure all this out, you shouldn't judge me for it because it's not a show. If it was a show, you could get angry. This is a happy hour that we do every week. It's an excuse for us to get together, to drink, to have a beer together, or whatever your drink of choice is. It's been a little chaotic. Everything was all packed up from Big Sis this week, so I was rushing, trying to get everything set back up here in the studio before the Weekly Pint tonight, which is what this is. So, on the plus side, I did tweak one little thing, which we're doing a little experiment tonight. So this is, you guys are familiar with this setup right here. This is the camera. Hopefully I fixed some of the exposure issues we were having last week. If not, sorry. But I did also add this camera right here, which I know that there's not a lot of difference, and actually there's something here in the corner of it that I got to fix, but there's not a lot of difference, except this is a much better camera. It's a new camera that may replace this one. See, this one looks better, but it remains to be seen still. We'll it's also just a little bit that way, so it's hard to get used to, but we'll leave it there for a minute. I don't know what I'm getting in there. Oh, I can't get that out of the It's up against the wall. I have to actually scoot the tripod. Never mind. We just won't worry about it. So the point of this is to hang out and have a drink together. So please jump on and tell me what it is that you are drinking. And I will crack open a beer here in just a second. Let's see. Julia is drinking one of her last two Spotted Cows. Marco having a Truth. No surprise there. That's the routine, I guess. Northeast Ohio Craft Brewery News is hanging out at Birdfish, brewing up a stout. That's impressive if you're able to hang out and take part in the Weekly Pint while you're brewing. Tim says split screen. I can't do split screen easily that I know of. No, it would take me a minute to get it set up. I can go back and forth. Or no, I can go back and forth. That's the best I can do. Matt Damaris is drinking water. I believe it's a fasting day is what it sounds like. Tom is drinking Third Eye Kolsch in a crowler. Josh is drinking a Bodhi from Columbus Brewing Company. I am going to crack open a beer that I grabbed at Uncle Jim's this weekend. Because it sounded delicious. This is one that I have not had before. It's a lambic, brewed with strawberries. It also has a very crooked label on it, and a whole bunch of, you can't see it, but I can. The whole side of the bottle is all nasty from where this had been laying for a very long time, which I think is a good sign. It means it was properly aged. And Julia says, don't shoot your eye out with that cork. I'm going to try not to. Or break a new camera. Wouldn't that be funny if I just got this new camera and then broke it with a cork? This is the most expensive camera that I've ever purchased in my life, which says a lot. Because I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but I am a professional photographer, so I've spent a lot of money on cameras over the years. And this is the most I've ever spent. But it's exciting because it's also probably the first time. Well, I mean, that's not true. This camera I did buy new, but it's a much cheaper camera. This is the first real kind of professional camera that I've bought new. Everything else that I've ever purchased has been used or refurbished or something, except when I was like in college. Let's see. It could certainly be on brand. Mrs. Gnome would not be happy if I shot my eye out or I broke the camera. I don't think she would care if I broke the camera. If I shot my eye out, yeah, I still don't know if she would care about that. It just serves you right, I guess. That's probably what she would say. We're going to try to get as little of the nasty bits as possible with this beer, but I'm excited to drink this. Derek says cheers. He is drinking one of his last cans of Rebel Metal's Volume. That is the Juniper Schwartz beer. So, lambic with strawberries. And it doesn't tell me a lot on here about it, or if it does, it's in a different language. It is brewed and bottled by Hansen's Artisanal in De Worp, Belgium. Ale brewed with strawberries. Yeah, don't really know much else. This might have, I don't bottled in March of 2016. I can figure that out. They have little notches on there. Okay, I get that. And that's all I know. Justin Cheney is drinking garage beer. There's a change. David McKinney just had a Warped Wing S'mores 10 ton. I wish I was sitting outside by a fire. That does sound like a good outside fire beer. Marco says it's the champagne of garages. David says it just finished recording episode of Beers and Beards. Well, cheers to everybody for recording podcasts. It smells like funky strawberries. I also have a little bit of a cold coming on, I believe, from my children. Or from one of you that I hung out with at Big Sis, maybe. Which we'll talk about Big Sis here in a minute. I just need to get into this beer. Yeah, funky, earthy strawberries. That's about all I get. Oh, that's good. Definitely very little carbonation, if at all, which is not out of the ordinary for lambic beer. Super tart. And yeah, strawberry. That's good. That's a good beer. I love lambic style beers or wild barrel aged beers. I think that they are they're fun. It is probably the when you add fruit into some of these beers, like it gives me that little sweet kick that I think people want from beer sometimes without going over the top. It still balances out with all this other stuff going on. The tartness, I enjoy. I love it. I absolutely love it. That is really good. If you guys see that when you're out and about, grab it and try it. There was a bunch of them that they had, a bunch of different flavors that I hadn't really seen from this this brewery, which I can't remember what it was now. It is Udabidji. Somebody else can probably pronounce that better than me, but the autofocus is way better on the new camera. Look at how much happier that is. In theory, this camera here, you're supposed to be able to hold this up and it'll focus on it even if it's not in front of your face. In practice, that doesn't ever really work the way it's supposed to. Whoops, wrong one. Sorry, I'm doing fun little camera experiments while you guys are standing there watching. Tom says that traditional sours are the bee's knees for me lately. I agree. I absolutely love them. I tell you what, one that I had this year that really, really blew me away, and this is not just because Justin Cheney, who we all know is Mr. Braxton now, they did a barrel-aged sour this spring that was called Handpicked or Handpicked Blueberry, I think. Handpicked, Handforged, Handpicked. That was just absolutely fantastic. One of my favorite Braxton beers that I've had in a really long time. I should have told you guys all while you were down there the other day to snag a bottle of it because I saw they still had some. Rodenbach Alexander is my jam right now. I have not had that one for a while, but yes, give me that all day long. I'm in love with all that stuff. I need to do some kind of video content or something about traditional sours because it is so freaking delicious. Before we get too far into the weeds, we should talk about Big Sis this weekend because it has been kind of all that is consumed every minute of my life for the last while, and we finally had Big Sis, and the event was incredible. The podcast was great. The raffle went good, and I had fun seeing everybody and getting a bunch of you guys on the podcast, or just getting a chance to sit down and have a beer with a bunch of people. It was hectic and fun. I can't thank Julia and Josh enough for manning the raffle while I was busy setting up the podcast and everything. So thank you guys. Marco for sitting in and co-hosting the episode with me. Thank you very much. But everybody who showed up, who donated, who did anything to help that event happen, thank you. It means the world to me, and I'm really, really happy with how it turned out this year. I hope you listened to the episode this week, especially if you weren't able to make it to Big Sis. It'll give you a little bit of peek, kind of how things went. But we had a really good time, and we had fun, kind of making an episode that is a little different than normal. Got to do some trivia. Julia says, "Are you going to have a post about how much was raised for Brewhouse?" Maybe. It's a little bit complicated because at the event, I know that the raffle itself, we raised a little over like $600, I think, from the raffle to Brewhouse. I don't know how much money they raised over at their table. And then the other portion is money raised from the beer, which we won't know until after that is done. But even that, so I think, and I could be wrong on this, I think Braxton will just take and donate a set amount no matter what, even if it, they'll kind of just calculate, here's how many pints are poured out of a batch of beer, around $1 a pint. Here's how much we think that is. That's what we're going to donate. I think that's kind of the way it works. But there's so many different things happening all at once at the event that it's hard for me to get an exact number of how much was raised. But I think it's safe to say that they got a nice little chunk of money to help them with their goals and their whole thing that they do. So probably won't have a post, but I can say we did about $600 off of the raffle. It was good after not really having a raffle like that for the last couple of years to finally have that going on. So that was fun. Now we get to shift gears, start planning for the upcoming Oktoberfest Quest live episode over at Fretboard, which we do have to talk about tonight. We're going to reveal the fan vote tonight, which I don't even know who won. I haven't looked for a few days. When I last looked, which was before the weekend, it was a 3-way tie. It was like, I think maybe 20%, 3 different ways to Braxton, Listerman, and Westside. So if you haven't voted, you still have a minute to vote. You have to go back through my social media and find the link for the poll, but you can still do that now before I reveal it in just a few minutes. So we'll reveal that, and then I will roll through round 3 in the next little bit here. How many days do we have before? We have a week. Yeah, so next Monday. So this week, I'll roll through round 3, and we will have your finals all set. We'll know who who the four are, the final four. And people are competing for something very major this time. It's a major award, guys. This is the first ever Golden Gnome. So this is awarded to the winner of this year's contest. So there's something at stake besides just pride and bragging rights. So we'll get that figured out tonight, and then as soon as we're off of that, we will be diving headfirst into planning and revealing some of the breweries and some of the beers for this year's Beer, Booze, and Bonks at the Folding Warehouse. We've been working really hard on that. We have the sponsor all nailed down. I don't think that I revealed that in the newsletter that went out this weekend, but we will be, I think, any day now is when the press release goes out. And then from there, we'll start revealing some of the breweries that are going to be there. And then in the next, I guess in the next month, we're getting there. We're about, a little over a month and a half away from the actual event. So we'll be diving in very, very quick and heavy about all that. I still have a couple slots that I have not decided who will be filling them. That's where it gets very, very difficult for me because there are only so many openings that we can fit people into the festival. There's only so much space, and so we have to really kind of narrow it down to the places that I think deserve to be there. They are definitely going to market this as the best breweries in the city and the best beers from those breweries. We all know it's a little more complicated than that, but there are a few places that we're inviting that you don't typically see at festivals. That's important to me. There's going to be some beers that you don't typically see on tap or have never seen on tap. That's important to me. But it's safe to say that every single beer that will be there is vetted by me personally. It's all stuff that I have tried or will have tried by the time that they're invited, and that I vouch for. There's a lot that we could say about that. It'll all be good beer. I promise you that. You will not get anything that is not good. So that's that. Should we go ahead and dive into the Oktoberfest quest? Should I pull it up here? So if you have not voted, you should be doing that right now because you're about to lose your chance. Let's see if I can remember. There it is, Oktoberfest quest. Oh, there is a clear winner. Oh, yeah. I just can't tell who it is on this. Hang on. I have to pull it up on my computer. Because I put all the losers on there, if you guys didn't notice that. Oh yeah, it's a absolute clear favorite on here, no surprise. West Side with their Oktoberfest back in the competition, which means there is a chance. Let me pull up the bracket here. And I didn't set the iPad up, so I can't share the screen with you guys, so you can't see what I'm looking at. But I'm pulling up the actual bracket so that we can see how this is going to shake out for this round. Oktoberfest Quest. Westside, their Oktoberfest always seems to be the crowd favorite every year that gets voted back in. And this one, they came in with 31.6 of the votes from the fan vote. So they will be going. So it'll be in round 3. We will have 4 competitions. Third Eye Fest Beer will be going against Mad Trees Ziegler. West Side's Fest Beer will be going against Brink Toberfest. Saunders Oktoberfest against Northern Row Brewer. And then the last one will be Moorline Woots against West Side's Fest Beer. So there is a chance that I should probably flip-flop some of those to make sure that, well, I mean, that's not fair. There's a chance that the finals could be West Side Fest Beer versus West Side Oktoberfest, which would be kind of hilarious. A rematch. So last year the finals were 3 of them, and I can't. I know that it was West Side Oktoberfest, Sonder, and I can't remember off the top of my head what the third one was. Maybe was it Brink? I don't know. Somebody chime in and tell me. But this year, since there's 4, it won't. There's no way to do exactly the same rematch. It'll have a little bit more fair. And then the way that we'll probably structure the finals at Fretboard, I have 2 guest judges. I'll let you guys talk amongst yourselves to guess who those guest judges might be. 2 special guests, celebrity guest judges, to sit in on the final round. And we'll split it up into almost 2 rounds. We'll do 2 versus 2, and then the winners, and this will all be blind. The winners of those 2 will then go against each other. So we won't pick between the 4. We'll do pick between the 2, and then those 2 will face off. And the final decision will be mine. However, the narrowing down, I will definitely make it into a 3-way vote. But the finals will all be me. However, everybody else will get to discuss it also. And then we'll talk about some Oktoberfest beer. And we'll probably fire up the hot poker and poke some beers, and who knows. Sorry, I gotta sneeze again. Oh, my kids. I love them to death, but man, I'm just hoping I can get this just gone in the next day or 2, so that I don't have to deal with it for the weekend. Or Julia says, "Oh my God, I can't wait for a poked beer." Have you still not ever had one? Because it is something special. You're either going to love it or hate it. It's always good with Oktoberfest, in my opinion. There's some other beer styles that I've tried that never quite turned out as well as I had hoped they would, but Oktoberfest tends to work out pretty good, and so does Bach. I am going to kind of keep this a little bit short tonight because of all of this, and I don't want to lose my voice, but Julie says, "Nope, I'm still missing out." That's crazy to me that you've just never found something metal around your house and heated it up and shoved it in a beer just out of curiosity's sake. It also means I have to find the beer poker, because I think it's still packed up with camping stuff from the last time we were camping. So who knows where it is in the storage room at this point. It's probably next to all of the raffle stuff that I couldn't find this weekend. And Josh won't let me be that reckless. My wife usually doesn't know what's happening down here at the bar. I don't think I've ever fired up the poker upstairs. It's always just down here after a couple beers that turn on a blowtorch and start burning things. It's only because of him that the house hasn't burned down yet. I've never burnt down the house, and I'm very careless. When we were building the bar, I believe there was a couple times that we used 151 lit on fire to help age the wood. So there was definitely open flames all over the basement at one point. And we didn't burn the house down. We may have almost burnt the bar down, but Julia says, "But didn't you almost burn down a cabin?" I didn't. I just happened to be in the cabin when it almost burnt down. It was not my fault. I was asleep. um, you will start seeing some changes here in the studio a little bit, and this camera angle is starting to give you a little bit of a preview of what that's going to look like. I won't be, I don't know when this is going to happen, but fairly soon. I won't be sitting here at this desk like I am now. I'm actually going to be back here where all this crap is sitting right now. There will be a chair there, and there'll probably be another chair over here, so that once we start rolling in guests and stuff here in studio again, we'll have a neat little setup here. And for the Weekly Pint, you'll see me sitting there in my chair like I'm sitting next to a fireplace or something with a pipe and some slippers, and be nice and cozy, a little bit more comfortable than what the setup is right now. I don't know when that's going to happen, but you'll start seeing that with this. You'll have one camera here. You'll have multiple cameras. It'll be fun. It's going to be a neat little setup, so stay tuned for that. And hopefully, as more episodes of Drinking with a Gnome get finished, you'll start seeing some of those segments happening here in studio also. The first video segment, first video edition of Drinking with the Gnome is coming very soon. You'll have the audio first, and then the video. We're going to break it up into kind of smaller, short little clips for you to check out on Facebook or Instagram or YouTube, places like that. Just short little bites of the episode, and then if you want to see the whole episode, you still have to get the audio version. So stay tuned for that. One of the things that I'm working on. If you want full length video episodes of Drinking with the Gnome, you will have that option, but you got to become a Gnomie. We're gonna start doing lots of fun stuff like that for Gnomies coming in the new year. Huge thanks to Elijah, who subscribed today. He is officially a Gnomie. We have swag bags that we are starting to plan out and get ready to go out at the beginning of the year. I should put a cutoff on that at some point. We'll say if you subscribe in October, you get lumped into that first of the year swag bag. If not, you're gonna have to wait until next October probably before the regular Gnomie ones go out. The bigger level ones will go out in the spring, but it's all very complicated. But if you go to the website, if you go to thegnarlygnome.com/support, you can kind of see it broke down on there a little bit of what it's going to look like, and we'll get you guys some fun stuff and start showing some more love and appreciation to all of you guys who really make some of this stuff tick. You enable things like studio changes and upgrades, camera upgrades, fun beers when I'm shopping, all of that stuff. It's all because of people who support, people who I work with, in the job side of this. Go to gnomecreative.com if you want to work with me. All kinds of stuff like that. So it's all coming. It's all slowly coming together and starting to get figured out. So stay tuned. I know I say that all the time, but I promise it's coming. We'll go ahead and wrap this up, though. We'll have beer labels, obviously not next week because we're going to be live at Fretboard. I'll probably fire up the podcast live at some point during the show. If you can't make it, so you can at least see the finals or something, you'll get to hang out like normal. But if you can, please do, because it's going to be a fun episode. I always love hanging out with people live, doing the show live. It's a little bit hectic sometimes, but this show is supposed to be hectic. So, so there's that. We will be recording not just not just doing a live event and doing a live episode of the Weekly Pint. We'll also be recording an episode of Cincy Brewcast. So all of that stuff has to all be done at the same time, which is kind of complicated to plan out and not make it all repetitive of each other. Whether or not I'm able to do that is a different question, but that's the idea. So go ahead and mark it on your calendar, though. Next Monday night, I'm assuming, I have not confirmed this, but I'm assuming the way they normally do it, we'll probably go live about 7 o'clock-ish. We'll be there. We'll have a table set up. I'll have, I shouldn't promise this. If my wife is there, we will have a table set up with some fun swag that you guys can buy if you need any new gnome swag. Though I don't know there's really anything new that'll be there. No, I don't think I have anything new yet. But if you need a glass or some stickers or a T-shirt, please buy some T-shirts. I need to make some space up on the shelf for some new stuff. So buy a bunch of T-shirts. Get rid of those. I think I have one sweatshirt left. It is getting cold outside. Buy a sweatshirt. And if you're one of those people, and I know 2 of you are listening right now, that won stuff at Big Sis, and we're not there to claim your prizes, I've got your prizes, and there's a bunch of them, and I'm going to bring those with me too. So we'll get those out of my dining room, and we'll see you guys next week. Be there, Fretboard, Blue Ash, around 7. We'll probably be there a little bit early and a little bit late, but around 7. But thank you guys. I appreciate hanging out with you. I appreciate you guys making this a repeating thing that we're able to do every week. It's always a blast for me. I know it's not the most popular content that I do. There's a lot of people that kind of remind me of that sometimes, but it's not the point. And I'm glad that you guys get that and you understand what this is about, and you come and hang out with me every week just to shoot the shit. So thank you. We'll be back next week. Same place, same time, sort of. It's not even the same time or the same place. It'll be a little bit earlier in a completely different place. We'll see you guys at Fretboard next week. Hope you like the new camera angle. This is the old one. This is the new one. That cost a lot of money. We will see you guys if I can find the mouse and properly end the show. See you guys next week. If the finals next week end up being West Side versus West Side, do I have to buy 2 trophies? Build. This took me like a really long time to put this trophy together. It was very, very complicated and expensive. I'm not buying 2 trophies for them. They have to have one.